they're Mr. Cool, so they don't do TikTok. Okay. They're like, Mom, that is so last year. Good morning, Lab Coat Agents. Very, 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 very excited. This is my first week back in quite a few weeks. I had some family time that I took, just a little break between segments. And so this is our first Rockstar Realtor segment back. And I am so excited because I have a treat for you. Not everyone on the scene knows Glenda Baker, and you either will know her, but you should know her. And so I really, really wanted to bring her on and introduce her to the LCA family, to introduce her to everyone in our different markets. She's a realtor out of Atlanta, Georgia. And I had the unique opportunity. I stopped in Georgia just about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I had the very unique opportunity to meet her, and she dropped everything I wasn't even in Atlanta more than 24 hours, and she dropped everything, and she came to hang out with me and the crew that I was with there. We were filming a movie, and she was just so gracious and so much joy and so authentic and so down to earth. And I just thought, man, I need to have you on LCA. And Glenda, you are the real deal. You are, not everyone acts like the real persona that they portray. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are such a beautiful human being, and I'm so blessed to call you friend. And there's no wonder why you're such a success. So I just pray all the blessings on you and your life and career and business and personal life and all the good stuff. So just thank you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you. And when you brought this up to me, I was like, oh, my stars. Absolutely. I would love to hang out with you in Lab Coat. So we had a great time when you were here, and it was such a pleasure to meet you. I was like, oh my stars, she's going to be here. And she knows I exist in the world. So absolutely, I was thrilled to be with you.
Well, it's crazy because we just cross paths on Clubhouse. I mean, for anyone who's not on Clubhouse or has dinged Clubhouse, I get it. Especially because they did the Facebook and Android thing, or not Facebook, iPhone and Android thing. People were kind of a little about Clubhouse, but a lot of the LCA moderators, we jumped on Clubhouse. It's another social platform. We intended to get ahead on it. And so I got on Clubhouse mostly because of Tristan Amura. So that's why I got on there. And we started hosting rooms and real estate rooms. And that's where we found each other. And when I got on your Instagram, I started to see your social content. And honestly, I'm never on TikTok, not a TikToker. I have an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old, and they banned me from using TikTok. Well, and they're Mr. Cool, so they don't do TikTok. Okay. They're like, Mom, that is so last year. However, but the reality is that I was an intelligence officer for 11 years. And so in the military, we were not allowed to have TikTok. So we were banned from downloading that, especially if you had a top secret security clearance. So I was not allowed to have TikTok, and I just separated in January. So when I found your page and I found your Instagram content, it led me to TikTok. And that's where I was like, I don't think I realized how many TikTok followers you had until I met you in Atlanta. I just thought you were funny. And I kept telling Tristan, you have to know this lady. She's the most hysterical person I've ever met in my life. And so you know, she just like sings everything my heart cries about. And so it was just so great. So I'm so grateful to Clubhouse for making such amazing connections. You know, that I would have never had. And so talk to me a little bit about first what's going on with you socially, and like so many, you know, instant fame situations, it definitely was not instant. So talk to me a little bit about that, about what drove you to start your TikTok, and how has that like evolved, and then go backwards for me.
Well, I like to do video, and I was doing a little series from my car called Posts from the Porsche, and it was a Facebook Live series. And I had gotten some momentum from doing that. And on Facebook. And so I knew I wanted to do more video. And in February of 2020, I reached out to a social media coach, and he goes, Glenda, you're great on video. You should do more video. You should try TikTok. And I was at a conference, and they showed this guy's TikTok. And I was like, well, if that guy could do TikTok, I could do TikTok. And then I came back to Atlanta, and I tried to do it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's not good. And so I talked to a videographer, and I was going to have a videographer help me. And then I found out the cost of the videographer, and I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that.
So I'm in the same boat as you, right? I went to TikTok, and I was like, which way do you swipe? What button do you press? Like, I can't, I literally can't. And then the videographer thing, I was like, right.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. So during the pandemic, I really started consuming a lot of content on TikTok, and I ran across this dating coach, Matthew Hussey. And
I know him.
I loved the style of his video. And I was like, I wonder if I could do like real estate advice, like this guy's doing dating advice. So once we kind of got through the thick of the pandemic, and we were coming out of it, I started doing a little bit more TikTok when I would walk through houses with a client, and I would show like a crack, or I would show like a bad kitchen renovation, or I would show like a squatty potty, like you should put this away before you like let your
don't do that.
And so I did those types of videos, and I was getting some good feedback, and I was getting some followers. I had 4,000 or 5,000 followers. And then I reached back out to the videographer, and I said, you know what, I really want to do these TikTok videos. And he's like, you can do that from your phone, right? And I'm like, yeah, but that's not my brand. My brand is, I want it a little bit more polished. I want it to look like this guy, Matthew Hussey. And so I engaged a videographer, and in October, we started posting. And so that was October of 2020. And, I got maybe 15, 20, 30,000. And then I kind of got up to 50, and I was like, wow, this is going really well for me. And then I had a couple of videos pop off. And then I was, started really getting some momentum. And so now I think we've got like maybe 425,000 followers and over 44 million views. So it's a lot.
44 million views. And I think the day that we hung out, you had just posted a video about Jay-Z, and you had like 5 million views in 24 hours.
So you're right. That's the day we were hanging out that day, and I had just posted that Jay-Z video. And I think I told you, I said, this one's doing pretty well. It's got like 200,000 views. And I don't know.
And we opened it together, and you had already hit 2 million.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my stars. So so the Jay-Z video has got about 6 million views on my page. It's got another 5 million on another guy's page who used it as a green screen. And then it's got another 1 million views on another guy's page that just like posted it as if it were his video. So it's literally gone crazy. So I've got one that's got about 9 million, and then I've got Jay-Z who's about 7 million. But really what I talk about is real estate advice. And so the one that has the 9 million, it talks about when I made a really big commission check and how I pissed that money away instead of investing it in real estate. And that was such a lesson for me. So it's been, an interesting ride. I post every single day. And this week, I'm actually posting a series about one event that was huge, a huge issue for my seller. And that is somebody who actually filed, a buyer who filed a mechanics lien to preserve their interest in their earnest money. So the buyer defaulted on the contract and was unable to close. We had a backup. We went under contract with that backup, and the primary buyer filed a mechanics lien against the house to blackmail, extort the seller into giving him back his earnest money, even though he had defaulted. So this week is a trilogy, more than a trilogy. I guess it's five videos. It talks about from the proof of funds that was provided with the contract, when it started to, go sideways, and then the 3 videos about exactly what happened. So that's going to be all this week, but I post real life stuff that agents and consumers can really understand and bite into. I don't look at the camera. So it's kind of like I'm talking to my friend. And I think that people really like that. Most people will say you need to look at the camera. I just didn't do well looking at the camera. So that's why I decided to look over at a chair. And now Sam, the lighting guy, sits in the chair. And I just talk shit to Sam all day long.
And that, by the way, is actually a professional videography video. Having been in television and film, anytime I'm a host, even when I am directly, when I was on Living Alaska, never do I look into the camera. Like that's actually like a do not do in professional television. When I was on the movie set, we filmed a scene where I think I walked in the house. I played a realtor. I walked in the house and I thought the camera was going to pan in on the other realtor and the people. And so I looked back down towards the camera and I looked into the freaking lens because he was still on me and I didn't know he was still on me. And that is like a big faux pas. Like everyone on set knew I looked into the camera. It was so embarrassing. So yeah, what you're doing is actually it's the most professional form of videography. So good job.
Thanks.
Yeah. And so how did that translate to your Instagram? Because your Instagram has a pretty good amount of followers also. So did that also trickle into Instagram? Did you notice that?
So the TikTok has definitely given me momentum on many platforms. It's given me a lot of momentum on Instagram, but Clubhouse has given me a lot of momentum on Instagram as well. So, just kind of organically, I think that anywhere you go, it's difficult to get away from me, or at least I hope it is. We do Glenda Goes Off series on Instagram. We do a Glenda's Guide series on LinkedIn. But interestingly enough, the TikTok videos tend to perform better on LinkedIn than the LinkedIn curated videos. So I really felt like I needed to be a little bit more buttoned up and a little bit more, uptight or professional on LinkedIn. And I have found that my audience is not expecting that from me. That's not what they're looking for me. They're looking for somebody who shoots it straight, and they're looking for that, kind of in your face Southern shade that I throw, whether it's on Zillow or agent etiquette or, just everything. My people kind of like the way that I deliver the news. And so rather than trying to button it up and keep it uptight, they want me to be me.
It's so funny. I was curious if it was your earrings, and I think it's your bracelets are dangled.
Oh, stars. I'm so sorry. Typically I take it off, You are correct. I have this charm bracelet, and there's a story behind this. In fact, I should do a TikTok video on the story behind this.
What is it?
I was married one time, and the husband at that time got mad at me, and it was Christmas, and he did not give me a Christmas present. And so the day after Christmas, I went to Tiffany and bought me a bracelet, and it came with one heart, just one heart. And on that heart, I had my initials. I think I had my initials put on it. So the next year, he had the kids' initials and his initials put on it. And then the next year, he had everybody's name put on it. And it ended up with like 8 hearts. And it drove him crazy because it jingled all the time. And, you know, like, things were not going well.
You didn't give me a fucking Christmas gift.
Exactly. Things were not going well. And I was trying to kind of save the boat. And so I stopped wearing the bracelet because it drove him crazy. And, you know, I was like, this is terrible. And it didn't end well. And so we ended up getting divorced. And so then that was like in February. And then in August, when the kids were going back to school, we did a meet and greet. And of course, I had put my bracelet back on, and we go to the school, and I'm taking some notes, and you can hear it like the whole time. And I don't even notice it because I don't even hear it anymore. And so we were walking out of the school, and the ex-husband says to me, he goes, I can't believe you still wear that bracelet. It makes so much damn noise. And I looked at him straight in his face, and I said, well, you know what? Since I cut your name off, it doesn't make nearly as much noise. So needless to say, the charm bracelet has kind of taken on a life of its own. And you can hear anywhere I go, like people hear it, and it's like a dog tag. So I hear it, and I'm so sorry I forgot to take it off. But it's funny because in my bracelets or on Clubhouse, people know where I am in the process of getting ready, because I'm in this call in the morning at 7 a.m. and I get ready during that call. So everybody knows where I am in the process based on when my bracelet goes on my arm. It's hilarious. Sorry.
Yeah.
I digress. Not about video.
No, but everything. It's been really cool to watch you. And because I know for most people with TikTok, one of the things that I feel like is like, I'm going to run out of things to say. I'm going to run out of things to say, you know, or I just feel like I'm going to have this like mental block or something. And I don't know what else I'm going to talk about. So how do you prepare for that? And then how did you monetize TikTok?
So we actually, what I do is I make a list throughout the month. I batch shoot. So I shoot one day a month, 11 hours from 8 a.m. typically till about 6:30 or 7.
Which day?
Whatever day. It's just one day a month. Whatever day works for me in Denver.
Oh,
and
one
Sam.
a month.
One day a month. Yeah, 11 hours. And so I have a call to greatness every morning at 8 a.m. And that call is typically about 10 minutes. So from 8:10 to 8:30, Denver gets to my house. We shoot at my house. Denver gets to my house at 7. So from 7 to 8, he gets ready, gets the set ready. And then from 8:10 to 8:30, we frame out what we're going to talk about, the content, what we're going to shoot for each different platform and the format that we're going to use. And then from 8:30 to 11:30, we shoot TikTok. From 11:30 to 12:30, we take a lunch break. And then we start back at 1. And we'll typically shoot either some Glenda Goes Off, some Glenda's Guide. Sometimes we'll shoot a little general marketing, which is long form video for me, which is 3 minutes.
Like I call emails and for emails and stuff.
Well, it's not really for emails. Like I just released one today, and it's about how I got a $9 million listing. So we shot that one, and it's being released because I just listed that $9 million house yesterday. The most expensive house in Cobb County for sale right now. And so we're releasing that one, but it's like 3.5 minutes.
Oh, wow. And you're releasing that where?
So we'll actually release that on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. but it's over 3 minutes, so it won't go on TikTok. But it's more about like what it was like to list a $9 million house and kind of how my career evolved into that. And so we shoot like, why you should work with Glenda, or if your listing has expired, why you should work with Glenda, or a little bit about my team. So we do some general marketing videos in the afternoon as well. And again, we shoot from typically about 1 to 6. This coming Friday, I'm actually doing a little meet and greet here in Atlanta where my TikTok fans and Instagram fans, other agents, will have the opportunity to come to the Marietta Square Market and ask me anything. So it's an Ask Glenda Anything. It's kind of a pop-up meet and greet Q&A. And so they can come in, they can ask me anything about how to shoot video or anything about real estate, because what we found was TikTok audience, my glitterati's is what I call them, that my glitterati, they really wanted to talk to me live. And so we thought, okay, let's have a meet and greet. So we got a lot of RSVPs for that. So we're all excited, and we'll shoot that this Friday from 2 to 4.
Oh my gosh, that is so freaking cool. Okay, so you do it once a month, you do the batch content. And I know that you mentioned in 6 months you had closed about $160,000 of GCI off of TikTok. So how did you really capitalize on monetizing that and creating clients through that funnel?
So social media is a layering effect. So I've been selling real estate since Jesus was a baby. Back in 1992, when I started, you would send a postcard and Bob and Susie would call you and they would say, we want to sell our house at 123 Banana Street. We got your postcard. It's 2021. It's a layering effect. Somebody gets your postcard. Somebody sees your sign. They go to your social media to vet your credibility. And so used to, people, they didn't have a website or anything to do that really back in the early 90s. But then the evolution, they went to your website to kind of see if you were real. And now people go to your social media. So what happens is people post in the comments, I'm moving to Atlanta. I'd love to work with you as my buyer's agent. Or what's very prevalent for me is where the 18 to 24 age group will tell their parents, hey, you need to talk to the TikTok real estate agent. So that gets me some sellers. And then I'll get an agent to agent referral, and somebody will say, hey, I want you to talk to my friend Glenda in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll get on a buyer consult with those people and they'll say, hey, we saw you on TikTok. So it's a layering effect. So I don't think that it's just one thing, but we've been able to attribute back a lot of money made from TikTok.
And how are you able to, like when you are getting people that have seen you on TikTok, and because I'm on my phone, I'm getting calls in, so I'm like flipping them away. How have you, gosh, what the heck? I can't stand what happens.
So typically what they'll do is they'll come in through a comment, or they'll click on my Instagram and send me a DM through Instagram, or they'll go into my website and they'll send an inquiry through my website. A lot of people, it's so funny because I asked this question in one of my videos. I'm like, why do you follow me? Like, I'm trying to figure out like why these people follow me. Is it all men? Is it all women? Are they all 18 to 24? Are they all 47?
What do your demographics say?
So it's very interesting because a lot of people think that it's only kids on TikTok. And that 18 to 24 age range has definitely bought in to the Glenda Show. And they are definitely telling their parents about me. But I will be listing, a very expensive house here in Atlanta. And that person is 47. That woman's 47 years old. She came directly from TikTok. So that's the thing is, yes, the majority of them are 18 to 24. Then my next demographic, interestingly enough, is 45 to 54. The majority of them are women, which I find super interesting. TikTok is really a great place for women to champion women, and I love that about it. It's a it's been a very positive platform overall for me. Although if people do get out of line and get a little sassy in the comments, the glitterati's jump in and take care of that for me. I don't even have to say anything anymore because it's hilarious. One person said, "Does she not have anything other than star clothes?" And one of the gliteratis goes, "Obviously you haven't been watching long enough. She loves stars because her mom called her a star. And so she wears the star clothes because it's her theme." And I love it. I love it that my gliteratis just speak up for me. So it's so awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. And oh, that's what I was going to say. I have noted when I was with you and you heard me say this, because for all you realtors, and you guys know, I've been around this country and I've met a lot of realtors on this platform. I know a lot of you guys in person. And the biggest thing you know about when you're around a realtor is they're always distracted. They're always distracted by their phone. They're always like somewhere else, right? And that was the thing that I noticed when I was with you. It's like you seem to have so much time or to just like focus, to be present. And you were just so at peace. And I was just like, for someone whose social is blowing up the way that it is, I was very surprised that you were just so present. And like, I actually felt like I had a piece of you, like a piece of your genuine relationship and friendship. And it was several hours that we got to spend together, and you weren't like, check my comments or what's going, you know what I mean? You weren't at all in your phone. And that actually really stood out, because for someone that is, you know, running a real estate business also, and social media is another full-time job to manage. And so how did you navigate as you went from, you know, 10,000, 40,000, 100,000, and now, you know, over 400,000 followers in less than a year, to how did you handle the responsiveness in your comments? Now, do you have a team that's managing that for you to pull out the actual leads versus just the commentators? You know, like, how do you manage that?
I do not have anybody that manages it except me, because and maybe it's because like my ego is too big. I think that my people want me. And it would probably be easy to hire an assistant or a virtual assistant to deal with the comments. But wouldn't that be like gypping my people? Like, I just feel like that wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be true to them. And so I can't get to every comment. I try and respond to a lot of the comments, but I don't beat myself up when I can't. I feel like that when you're in the presence of someone else, that you owe it to that person to be present with them. And anytime that you're trying to build relationship with someone, if you stop and take a call from someone else, or you're just engaged in your phone and not present in that moment, what are you telling the person that you're with? And so for me, I have really made an effort to put my phone in my purse. And when I am in relationship with someone, I focus on that person, because that's the most important person in the room to me. It's just like when you're in a crowded room and you're in conversation with somebody. I remember I was at a bar one time and I was talking to this guy, and I was really interested in that guy. I liked him, you know, I was really attracted to him. And I noticed that he was looking all around, and it just made me feel like that he was looking for something better. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the way it made me feel. And I just mentally took a note of that. And so now when I'm in conversation with someone in a crowded room, or when I'm with someone, I want to stay very, very present to that relationship. So that's what I do. And nobody dies because I didn't answer my phone. And nobody dies because I didn't like their comment. Everybody knows that when they're with me, they're going to get 100% of me. And I think that they'd much rather have it that way than have a little piece of me and the rest of me be distracted.
Yeah. Yeah. And because between that and Instagram comments and LinkedIn and Facebook, and so how do you manage it all? Like, do you have a do you time block? Like, what is it that you do to?
Well, I'm a lunatic with time blocking. So I operate on a 50-10 schedule. So I work without my phone for 50 minutes and I do whatever my task is at hand. So I put my phone down. I don't look at it. I don't have anything to do with it for 50 minutes. And then 10 minutes, I pick it up and I respond to everything. And I do that for the first 3 hours of my day. So 50-10, 50-10, 50-10. And then I take about an hour and do nothing but respond to the comments. And then I go back to my little schedule of 50-10, 50-10, 50-10. And I do that again for another 3 hours. And so that makes my work day about 7 hours. And then that's it.
And so what happens when those 10-minute check-ins, like, is a fire to put out, or like something is, now?
I think that you have to learn to surround yourself with a great team, and, give them the opportunity to show their genius. There again, nobody dies because I didn't answer the phone. And, it's funny that you say, what if there's a fire? Because I literally did have an inspection, and I went to the inspection and the adjacent unit was on fire. And the thing about, like, I can't put the fire out, I'm just there to keep everybody calm. And so I think that if you just focus on the task at hand, the task in front of you, one at a time. Number one, I learned this from this Navy SEAL, and I absolutely love it. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I loved that. I loved that. And so I focus on one thing at a time, executing it, getting it done, putting it out, executing it, getting it done, putting it out. And I move through my day like that every single day.
I love that. Gosh. And there's so much to be said. So give me, while we kind of wait to see if there's any questions, either on our Facebook Live or even from some of the people in the webinar. Tell me how you transitioned in real estate, maybe a quick how you started and how you grew, and kind of what your business looks like now. Because you've been in real estate for a while.
I have been in real estate. Do you know that it will be 29 years, September the 13th? Obviously, I started when I was 12. But yeah, it has been 29 years. And, it's funny because like 0 to 15, like I remember, and they were very difficult. And then 5 to 20, I'm not sure I knew what I was doing. But literally 20 to 29, it has been a blur. It has been an absolute blur. But, I started in real estate, and I lived in a rental, and I read a book, How to Develop a Six-Figure Income in Real Estate by Mike Ferry. I read that book. I highlighted, I underlined, I dog-eared. I did every single thing that book said to do. I mean, I just literally believed wholeheartedly in that book. And I started September 13th, and by December, I was Agent of the Month. And by doing everything that book said, and then I took a little a course, Floyd Wickman's Sweat Hogs, and the company that I worked for refused to call us sweat hogs, so we were workhorses. And so I took a class. It was a 15-week class, And I had been in real estate. I started that class in March, it was 15 weeks. And I listed $32 million in real estate in those 15 weeks in 1993. And
What?
yeah, and literally I am a very instructional person. I work very well with clear instruction and clear expectation. And when you don't give me clear instruction and clear expectation, it makes me crazy. My head spins around, snot flies out of my nose. So I just work really with clear instruction and clear expectation. And that book and that
$32 million in 1990?
1993, $32 million. Yeah. And it was funny because like when I first started, it said that you should farm a neighborhood. Well, remember I lived in a rental, like I was poor. I was living in some shithole, right? With my little baby. And no lie, I put my baby in the car. I got the stroller out. I went to this fancy neighborhood. I parked at the clubhouse. I got my baby out. I put her in the stroller. And from 5 to 7 every day, I would walk these 3 neighborhoods and I would wave at the people. Hey, hey. And I mailed out a newsletter and I learned everything about the neighborhood. And sure enough, some guy calls me and he's like, hey, Glenda, my name is whatever his name was. I don't even remember. I live over on Gates Walk. I got your newsletter. I see you in the neighborhood every night. He's like, I'd love to do business with a neighbor. Can you come over and talk to me about listing my house? And that house in 1993 was like $600,000. And sure enough, I listed that house and sold it. The first, one of the first listings that I had was $950,000 in 1992. It was an expired listing. The book said, go preview every house in your farm. And so I went and previewed every house in my farm. And it said, the seller doesn't have to leave. You can bond with them while you're there. And I told the lady, I said, oh, you don't need to leave. Nobody knows your house like you do. Walk me through. I love this house. I remember when Richard Garcia was building it. Do you know that you have the largest ficus tree for any residence in the state of Georgia? Oh my gosh, this pink Spanish marble. Oh, I love it. It's fabulous. And sure enough, her husband called me and I had an appointment with him on Christmas Eve and I listed that $950,000 house and I sold it March the 9th. Yeah.
All from pushing the stroller through your country club.
Strolling my baby. That was it. My little daughter, Victoria, literally the kid has been through everything. Like I have strolled her. I remember we went to church and I had a listing appointment. And of course, this is before you were supposed to not leave your kid in the car. Like that was not a thing. This is back in so Victoria's 1991. So this is probably 2000. I have a listing appointment. I leave church. I'm not going to go all the way home. So I have the listing appointment. We pull up to the house and Victoria goes, oh no, it's synthetic stucco. Oh my God. And then I had my little son in 2001 and I had a listing appointment and I didn't have a babysitter. I was, my husband at the time was at work. So I put my baby in the car. I put Victoria in the car to go in this listing appointment. I roll the windows down. I leave them in the car in this very nice neighborhood. And my son gets hot. Because when I parked, the car was in the shade, but then the sun moved and he was in the sun. He got hot. Victoria took all of his clothes off and I got back in the car and he was stark naked. I mean, naked as a jaybird and crying and red and sweaty. And Victoria's like, I didn't know what else to do. And here's Victoria, 11 years old. And here's my little baby, 10 months old. And it was just you did what you had to do. I did whatever I had to do. And I remember one neighborhood had 536 houses. And in that neighborhood, I sold more houses than any other agent, but I sold more houses than every other agent combined. And I would do an open house on Saturday and Sunday. So I would do open houses on Saturday and Sunday. I had so many listings. I had 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6. So I did 6 open houses a weekend in that one neighborhood. And I was the queen of Avonsong. And I remember I would stand up in sales meeting and I would say, I have a new listing in Avonsong. And this lady in my office would bark because the houses were like dog houses. They were so ugly. And she said, not me, she said that. And so she would bark, woof, 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 every time I would say, I have a new listing in Avonsome, and she would bark. And I was like, oh my God, because all these ladies, they sold these fancy houses with their full length mink coats. And here I am, I'm selling anything, like all the money's green, baby, like anything I could get my hands on. It didn't matter if it was 100,000 or 1,000,000, I was selling whatever I could get my hands on.
And you're still that way to this day. You don't treat people differently.
No. But now people are like, oh, Glenda, you don't need to do those little houses. I have $900 rentals. I have a $9 million house. Like literally, if you look at my board, I have a $950 rental apartment. I have a $9 million house. Why is that? Because I have the luxury of choosing who I work with. So for me, it's not about, I don't want to work with the little houses. For me, it's, I don't want to work with the people that are assholes. And I don't want to be stuck in one segment of the market in case that segment or that area stops selling. I have a variety of listings across the board that gives me the luxury. If one part of the market or one segment of the market doesn't sell well, I'm not starving to death.
Right. And that's how agents pivot fast. If you don't already have a leg into that demographic or a systemized lead flow in that demographic of the market, and we end up in any sort of economic pivot that's hyper local or national, or or interest rates blow certain buyers out of the market that shift on a dime, then what are you going to do? Right. And if you don't have your all of your avenues open, then you get stuck. And you talk about coming out of the recession also in a lot of your.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Back in 2008, when it was terrible. Everybody was losing their house. I couldn't give a house away. People were upside down in their houses. I helped my clients turn a lot of those properties into rental properties, and, gave them cash flow, gave them the opportunity to get out of house A into house B. I helped. And, this is probably the biggest mistake I made in real estate was I had one client and he bought, and I want to say it was 5 houses. I'm going to have to go back and look. He bought 5 houses, $210,000 worth of real estate over 5 houses. And I was so focused on the commission, the 3% commission. So think about it. It's $210,000. And, whatever the commission was, let's say it's $5,000 or $6,000 total. I was so focused on getting that $5,000 or $6,000. I didn't think about buying those properties myself. And now those 5 properties are worth $2.1 million. So I was so focused on the 3% commission that I totally missed the 10X of the investment. So I always look back, people say, Glenda, what was your biggest mistake in real estate? That was my biggest mistake in real estate.
Having them sell those 5 pieces of property.
Not helping him buy those and not buying them myself. Like, why wasn't I buying those myself? Because think about it. I was so focused on, I'm going to sell those. I'm going to sell those to him. I'm going to make the commission. 3%. I'm going to make the
thinking like an agent instead of like an investor.
Exactly.
Early.
And that was the thing is I wish I had bought everything that I sold to investors, number one. And number two, I wish I had held everything that I bought as an investor and not sold it. So if I had held on to every single house that I bought, I would have 10x'd my own money.
Yeah. And that's what Grant says that all the time. He says, I don't need to sell anything. Like I have no motivation to sell anything. I will hold it until it matures for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And the moment that you sell it, it stops making money for you.
Exactly. And when people pay it off, I'm like, that dead money is sitting in your equity. What are you doing with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. So what else? Where are we at? I can't see my my time.
It's actually,
how many minutes?
It's 1:55 and I have a closing at 2 o'clock. The good news is I am already at the attorney's office. So I literally just have to go in the room next door. So I've got about 5 with you. So if you have any other questions, let me know.
Yeah. So let me see. Give me one more thing. Well, we'll just do this. How can people get in touch with you? And if you have any one hysterical thing that comes to your mind that you would like to share, I mean, obviously your infamous one is how you actually sold the wrong house to somebody. That is a wow. I love that so much. But how can people get in touch with you? And how are you able to help people, other peers, co-brokers in our market? Your team is in Atlanta.
Yes, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm the most unanonymous person in the world. You can literally Google Glenda, and it's Glenda with 2 N's, Glennda, Baker, Baker, and you can find all of my social. All of my social is under Glenda Baker. But if you just Google Glenda Baker, it'll take you to every single thing. I would love the opportunity to help you in Atlanta. If you have, a buyer or seller coming this way, we would love the opportunity to help. And I will tell your group before I tell anybody else, because this is completely and totally top secret. Nobody knows, but we have a Glenda's Guide to Video coming out, and it will be released September 1st. Nobody knows about it. This has been top secret. I haven't told a single soul. Just me and Denver know about it. So your group, LabCoatAgents, is the first to know, and it will be Glenda's Guide to Video.
Yay! And so September,
we will be doing pre-orders starting Thursday, and it'll be released September 1st.
Wow, I'm so excited. I'll definitely be plugging in, because even though I'm pretty good on live video, it's I just feel stuck like everybody else. You get stuck in your head. So
yeah,
so awesome.
It's not easy. Not easy. So we are going to give you some practical and tactical tips on how to create video content, like really be able to do it. So we're not going to hold back anything. So I hope that you will look for that. And again, we will be pre-selling it on starting Thursday, and we will be releasing it September 1st.
And how many people are on your team now, Glenda?
Oh gosh, I'm lean and mean. So it's me, Evelyn, and Elizabeth that sell. And then I have Larzelle, who runs all of the paperwork. And then I have Aaron, who holds my life together. So Aaron actually kind of helps me on the gifting. I have a huge gifting client experience strategy. And we do like 50 to 70 gifts a month between agents and past clients and sphere of influence. We do a huge client gifting program.
And so just out of curiosity, about how much budget per year do you put towards your gifting?
10% of my GCI.
Nice. I love that.
And let me just tell you, that is a shit ton of money. It's a lot. It's a lot between cupcakes and brownies and picture frames and baby blankets and puzzles and plants. It is a lot. But you know what? The return on the relationship has been exponential for me, because my love language is gifting, and I love the opportunity to make somebody feel special. And so for me, that has just been really, really, really rewarding personally, but to see and be able to do something for somebody else and the excitement that they get off of it has really, really, really touched my heart.
Yeah, I'm the same way. So I can appreciate that. That is, and it's a good rule of thumb, when you think about your tithing, your giving, what you return back, the seed that you plant, it's appropriate.
Yeah. As I said, I've been very fortunate.
Yes. Well, you bless me so much. I love your spirit, and I'm grateful for your friendship, and I'm grateful that the universe brought us together, and that God, put us in each other's lives. And I think that I'm just grateful to be your friend, and I got to get you to Alaska when you're ready to take a break.
Absolutely. I would love to come visit you. Thank you so much for hosting me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Glenda. Thank you for all of your good stuff. And I look forward to your Glenda's Guide to Video. we'll definitely make sure we post the link here when you're ready to launch it.
Sounds great. I'll look forward to talking with you real soon.
All right, babe. Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.